While your body slips into rest, something extraordinary unfolds beyond your awareness. Your thoughts don't shut down, they shift into a different rhythm, entering a realm that's far more active than you might expect. Most people assume sleep is simply a pause, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Across generations, whispers of ancient knowledge and modern discoveries have hinted at something much greater happening behind closed eyes. What if nighttime wasn't just a biological necessity, but a gateway into another layer of your existence? Some dreams feel so vivid they linger for days, like echoes from another version of reality. If you've ever woken up shaken or amazed by what you saw, you're not alone. Civilizations from every corner of the world have tried to explain this phenomenon. For thousands of years, in Egypt, dreams were considered sacred dialogues with divine forces. In classical Greece, thinkers such as Plato believed the soul ventured into elevated states of being while the body remained still. These weren't mere myths. They were early attempts to explain what continues to puzzle even today's scientists. We now understand that rest is vital for memory, repair, and cognition. But there's a layer beneath the biology, one that defies the limits of physical explanation. During specific stages of sleep, the brain exhibits activity patterns eerily close to those seen in deep meditation or near-death experiences. In those moments, the mind's relationship with space and time begins to unravel. Here's where things get truly strange. If awareness is just the result of neurons firing, how do we explain episodes where people report full clarity, interactions, and even journeys during sleep? These experiences aren't rare, they're widespread, yet rarely discussed seriously. What happens when consciousness disconnects from sensory input? Every night, something shifts. Your physical shell relaxes, brainwaves slow, and the material world fades from attention. But your awareness, it doesn't vanish, it moves. And what it accesses during that movement is something we're only just beginning to grasp. The most surreal visions, the moments that feel undeniably real, often arise during a specific part of the sleep cycle. REM, short for rapid eye movement. It's within this phase that the boundaries of logic start to dissolve, and something else takes over. But REM is just the surface. Some researchers, like those from the Monroe Institute, or pioneers such as Dr. Charles Tart, propose a daring idea that the mind doesn't stay local, that it detaches, that it explores. This concept, known as the out-of-body experience, or OBE, isn't science fiction. It might just be what's happening to you every night without you even knowing it. So why don't most people realize any of this is happening? The answer may be rooted in how we've been taught to perceive the world. From childhood, we're conditioned to rely solely on what can be seen, measured, or physically touched. Anything outside those limits is often dismissed as fantasy or coincidence. But those who've gone through experiences beyond the body often tell a different story, one filled with freedom, awareness, and the sensation of stepping into a much broader version of reality. There are testimonies of individuals who claim to have visited unfamiliar places while asleep, and later describe them with astonishing accuracy, despite never having been there physically. A standout figure in this field is Robert Monroe, a researcher who dedicated his life to understanding these phenomena. Through his own experiences, he recorded observations of non-physical dimensions, offering insights that continue to intrigue spiritual seekers and scientists alike. One factor that seems to shape what we experience during sleep is our internal state just before drifting off. If you go to bed burdened with fear, doubt, or mental chaos, you're more likely to tap into heavier emotional frequencies, even in your dreams. But the opposite is also true. Laying down with purpose, clarity, and a positive mindset can open the door to moments of insight, encounters with mysterious guides, or peaceful dreamscapes that feel more meaningful than reality itself. And this isn't just poetic thinking, it's a practice. One method many people don't know about is giving your subconscious a specific instruction before you fall asleep. It might seem simple, but it can lead to profound shifts in what you experience overnight. Right before your mind lets go, it enters a transitional state known as hypnagogia. In this liminal space, the brain becomes incredibly responsive. Thinkers like Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison were known to use this mental zone to their advantage, falling asleep while focused on a problem and waking with creative breakthroughs. You can do something similar. Whisper to yourself an intention. Let me wake up energized, or bring me insight on how to move forward in life. You can even ask for answers to questions you've struggled with for days. These suggestions go deep, working silently through the night. Often people wake with an unexpected idea, a shift in perspective, or a dream that seems to carry a personal message. This approach becomes even more powerful when used for exploring consciousness itself. Practitioners of astral travel often repeat phrases like, "Tonight, I'll stay aware while my body rests," or "I'll remember everything I experience beyond the physical." With repetition and a bit of patience, reports of vivid dreams, heightened awareness, and astonishing clarity begin to rise. As the body lies still, your awareness might be wandering far beyond the walls of your bedroom, perhaps into realms not yet fully mapped by science. Where your awareness travels while you sleep depends on more than just rest. It seems to respond to intention, mindset, and how tuned in you are to what's happening beyond the physical senses. Some people wake with memories so vivid it's hard to believe they were just dreams. Others recall drifting above their own sleeping body, observing the world from a distance that feels both surreal and strangely familiar. These types of episodes aren't limited to imagination. They're echoed across traditions, philosophies, and cultures. Buddhist monks, spiritual mystics, and even individuals who've had near-death experiences report similar accounts of slipping free from physical form and entering unfamiliar but oddly structured environments. Many describe what they saw in astonishing detail, places that seem to operate by a different set of rules, where time stretches or collapses entirely, and light carries a feeling more than just brightness. But what separates these experiences from ordinary dreams? That question has sparked countless debates. For some, it's the unmistakable clarity. These moments feel more tangible than waking life itself. Others point to compelling accounts where people gained knowledge they had no way of accessing otherwise. Descriptions of distant cities, conversations with people they've never met, or events that were later confirmed. All of this suggests that something real is happening beneath the surface. And there's a growing body of research, hinting that the mind might not be confined to the skull after all. Some scientists, inspired by quantum theory, have suggested that awareness may be a field, something that stretches beyond the body, capable of interacting with environments outside traditional space-time. One of the most well-known figures in this discussion is neurosurgeon Dr. Eben Alexander. After his own brush with death, he claimed what he experienced during his coma felt far more real than anything in waking life. His story isn't unique. Many who undergo similar states return with the same certainty. So are we actually visiting alternate levels of existence while we sleep? Could our nightly visions be more than memory fragments, more like travel logs, from dimensions just out of reach? There's a growing belief that dreams might be just that, not random byproducts of a busy brain, but reflections of real experiences happening beyond our regular awareness. And if that's the case, maybe sleep isn't just a break from the day. Maybe it's a window into something much larger. Dreams have fascinated thinkers, mystics, and scientists. For as long as stories have been told, they've been viewed as messages from beyond, expressions of the inner self, and sometimes as glimpses into realms that defy explanation. Freud believed They were coded fragments of our hidden emotions, while Jung saw them as symbolic roadmaps to a shared reservoir of human experience. But what if there's something more? Many people describe dream moments that feel like stepping out of their bodies, connecting with unknown beings, or even seeing events before they happen. These are often referred to as lucid dreams, states where the dreamer becomes fully aware of the dream and can even influence what happens next. In these moments, reality bends, and you're not just watching, you're participating. Across spiritual traditions, dreams are far more than psychological leftovers. In shamanic cultures, for instance, nighttime visions are considered sacred paths to insight, healing, or guidance. Buddhist teachings sometimes describe dreams as rehearsal grounds, spaces where the soul learns how to navigate existence beyond the physical form. And then there are the shared experiences. There are cases where two people report having nearly identical dreams on the same night. How can that be explained? One possibility lies in the idea that consciousness is not isolated inside each brain, but instead connects to a vast, invisible network, a kind of universal mind. In this web, thoughts and feelings resonate like vibrations. If two individuals are tuned into similar emotional or energetic frequencies, perhaps they enter the same dream room without even realizing it. This theory also lines up with Jung's concept of the collective unconscious, which suggests we all draw from the same pool of symbols, memories, and archetypes. That might explain why people from opposite sides of the world report similar dreams, despite having no contact. In deeper phases of sleep, the mind seems to reach into this universal library, uncovering shared patterns that go far beyond personal memory. Some have even claimed to experience group dreams, where multiple people interact in the same imagined space and later wake up with matching details. These shared spaces challenge the idea that we're alone in our dreaming. They suggest that when the physical body is at rest, our awareness might step into a realm where boundaries between individuals blur. But not all dreams are random or fleeting. Some carry powerful emotional weight or seem to point towards something still unfolding. Many people have dreamed of events, accidents, encounters, even global tragedies before they occurred. Time, it seems, may not follow the same path in the dream world as it does while awake. Quantum mechanics has long suggested that the past and future may be more fluid than we think. If particles can influence each other across time, why not consciousness? Could our dream selves be tapping into future possibilities, like a memory playing in reverse? Famous examples of predictive dreams include Abraham Lincoln envisioning his own funeral days before his assassination, and documented dreams that seem to foreshadow major disasters. Jung called this type of event meaningful coincidence or synchronicity, moments where seemingly unrelated events line up in ways that feel anything but random. The more you explore the dream world, the clearer it becomes. These nightly journeys aren't always fantasy. They might be early signals, clues, from a realm where time stretches differently, and awareness reaches farther than we've ever dared to measure. Dreams come in many forms, each carrying a different kind of message. Some are abstract and symbolic, using metaphors to mirror your inner world, like a collapsing building that represents emotional pressure, or an endless hallway reflecting indecision. These types of dreams speak through imagery, not logic. Then there are those that seem to break the rules of time. People often wake up convinced they've seen what hasn't happened yet, moments that later play out in real life. These future glimpsing dreams don't follow narrative structure, but they leave behind a strange certainty. They feel precise, detailed, and unshakably real, and some people experience full control inside their dreams. In these lucid states, you know you're asleep, but you're also fully conscious inside a world that responds to your thoughts. You can ask questions, walk through walls, or even rewrite the dream as it unfolds. It's a level of awareness that blends imagination with something more profound. Others describe encounters that go beyond symbolism, meetings with guides, higher intelligences, or deceased loved ones. These are not just emotional dreams. They carry a sense of presence, as if someone else truly entered your sleep space to communicate. But how do we make sense of these experiences? How do we separate noise from guidance? It starts with attention. Keeping a record of your dreams immediately upon waking can reveal patterns you'd otherwise miss. Over time, recurring themes, symbols, and emotions start to connect like pieces of a puzzle, offering insights into both your subconscious and something possibly greater. One of the most fascinating ideas found in esoteric teachings is the concept of the astral plane, a space said to exist between the material and the spiritual. According to philosophies like Theosophy, Hermeticism, and Spiritism, this realm responds directly to thought and emotion. It shifts and morphs based on the mindset of the traveler. People who've experienced what they call out-of-body journeys during sleep often describe various layers of this space. Some areas feel warm, expansive, and filled with understanding. Others, by contrast, feel dense, confusing, or emotionally heavy. The environment, it seems, mirrors your state of being. Researchers who explore consciousness divide this astral landscape into distinct zones: the lower layers associated with fear, pain, and guilt, the mid-level where everyday dreams and symbolic visions tend to occur, and the higher realms, zones of learning, clarity, and encounters with beings many describe as teachers or mentors. While some find themselves in these places spontaneously, others practice specific methods to access them with intention. Techniques like inducing lucid awareness or calming the body before sleep can make these experiences more likely and more meaningful. Then there are the dreams that feel like meetings, real interactions with someone else. People frequently talk about visiting with a relative who passed away, receiving comfort or guidance they hadn't expected. Skeptics might call this wishful thinking, but there are reports of these dreams revealing details the dreamer didn't consciously know. Some traditions say that while the body sleeps, the soul can attend schools or gathering places in these subtle planes. Lessons learned in those spaces might come back in dreams or show up later as sudden understanding. Remarkably, people have reported waking up with knowledge of spiritual principles or ancient texts they never studied in waking life, only to discover those same ideas written in sacred books. You don't have to wait for these encounters to happen by chance. The mind can be trained. Before sleep, set a clear message. Tonight, I welcome the presence of a wise teacher. Let me remember what I learn. Keep a notebook close and capture everything the moment you awaken. Even fragments can lead to surprising realizations. Nightmares often get brushed off as nothing more than bad dreams, but there's usually more happening beneath the surface. They're not always just echoes of daytime stress. They can be signals, internal warnings, or even glimpses into parts of ourselves we'd rather not face. Some researchers believe that frightening dreams serve a biological purpose. According to one theory, the brain rehearses danger scenarios while we sleep, helping us sharpen our instincts and emotional resilience. In this view, nightmares aren't threats, they're training grounds, but there's also a deeper layer worth exploring. These intense visions might reflect the emotional energy you carry as you drift off. Fear, anxiety, guilt. These feelings can shape what you experience at night. Your state of mind before falling asleep may be the key to understanding what your subconscious presents while you're out. The most vivid and emotionally charged dreams typically occur during REM sleep, a phase marked by intense brain activity. This is also when many report unsettling or overwhelming scenes that linger after waking. Pioneers in psychology, like Freud and Jung, offered different views on these nighttime episodes. Freud believed they were hidden fears rising to the surface, while Jung saw them as archetypal messages, calling attention to unresolved inner conflicts. Both perspectives recognize that nightmares are rarely random, but not every disturbing dream stems from trauma or mental stress. Some appear out of nowhere, carrying images or sensations that feel foreign. This leads some to believe that, in certain states, we may tune into realms or energies that reflect denser emotional environments, places where unprocessed energy gathers. If that's true, then changing your experience of sleep starts with preparing for it. Cleansing your environment, quieting your thoughts, and protecting your energy can make a major difference. Simple rituals like lighting incense, visualizing a soft light surrounding your body, or repeating affirming phrases before rest can shift your mental frequency. For example, telling yourself, "I'm surrounded by peace," instead of replaying anxious thoughts, helps rewire your dream atmosphere. It's also a good idea to avoid stimulating food and drink at night. Heavy meals, caffeine, or alcohol can increase your chances of restlessness and troubled sleep. Writing out nightmares as soon as you wake up can also be a powerful practice. You may begin to notice patterns or recurring symbols that reveal a deeper story. What felt like chaos in the moment may hold clarity once it's on paper. Another way to approach nightmares is by developing awareness inside them. If you can learn to realize you're dreaming, even while in a distressing scenario, you can shift the outcome. Some people use this skill to confront the very fears that once chased them. They've discovered that what seems terrifying is often just a hidden part of themselves asking to be seen. In spiritual circles, recurring nightmares are sometimes viewed as lessons in disguise. Being chased might represent avoidance. Falling could reflect surrender. Once recognized, these symbols lose their power and may even transform. Certain techniques teach people to remain calm within their dreams, even when things feel threatening. In time, many find that facing the monster doesn't lead to harm, but to insight. That shadowy figure could be an unhealed wound, waiting to be accepted. Understanding where nightmares come from gives you a chance to change how they affect you. With practice and intention, fear can become one of your greatest teachers. It's a strange thing, how quickly dreams vanish once you wake up. One moment you're in a vivid, surreal world, and the next it's all gone, slipping away like steam from a mirror. Why does that happen? Part of the answer lies in how the brain shifts gears. While asleep, your mind moves through different wavelengths, processing memory, emotion, and sensation in ways that don't quite match waking consciousness. As soon as you open your eyes, your focus snaps back to the physical world and the dream fades unless you catch it immediately. Another reason so many forget their dreams is simply habit. Most people never train their memory to hold on to those moments, but just like anything else, dream recall is a skill, and with effort, it improves. Keeping a journal within reach and writing down every fragment you can remember right after waking helps build that memory muscle. Even small scattered images can lead to deeper insights later. Stillness also helps. If you resist the urge to move right away, you're more likely to hold on to what your mind just experienced. Stay still. Keep your eyes closed and gently search for traces of the dream. This pause often makes all the difference. Your environment plays a role too. Overstimulation before sleep, bright screens, loud content, emotional drama, makes the mind too active to shift into a receptive dream state. A calm setting creates space for deeper experiences and easier recall. But even when dreams are remembered, some carry unsettling emotions or unexpected encounters. Most conversations around dreams focus on positive messages or self-reflection. But there's another side, the darker, more mysterious layers of sleep. Certain states, like sleep paralysis, can be terrifying. You may become aware of your surroundings, but find your body unresponsive. Some report a sensation of pressure on the chest, or a sense that something else is present in the room. While science explains this as the brain waking up before the body, Spiritual interpretations suggest it might be the result of rapid re-entry after exploring other levels of reality. The key, when facing this moment, is to remain calm. Focus on breathing. Move your fingers slowly. Remind yourself it will pass. Some even use this brief window as a springboard into full awareness beyond the body, turning a frightening moment into an opportunity. Another strange element of the dream world involves unknown beings. People sometimes describe meeting entities that feel other, not just figments of the imagination. Some are helpful, others neutral, and occasionally they provoke fear. What are they? Psychologists might say they represent internal parts of the self, unacknowledged aspects of personality or unresolved memories. But spiritual teachings often go further, proposing that in these subtle realms, we may interact with real consciousnesses, guides, spirits, or energy forms shaped by strong emotion. In any case, fear tends to amplify the experience. The more anxious you feel, the more distorted the encounter can become. That's why many recommend creating energetic protection before bed. Imagine surrounding yourself with a shield of light or calm energy, simple acts that can make a big difference. There's also the issue of overactivity during sleep. Some people wake up drained as if they've been living a second life all night. This might be due to heavy emotional processing, intense dreams, or journeys that feel non-stop. Grounding practices, like drinking water, touching the earth, or taking a cool shower, can help reconnect your body and reset your energy. To navigate this hidden world more safely, try setting a nightly ritual. Meditation, gratitude, or simply turning off negative content before bed creates a mental space that invites peace. What you allow into your mind before sleep often determines what you find once you're there. Ultimately, dreaming is much more than rest. It's a nightly passage into something unseen, filled with meaning, mystery, and insight. Whether you're experiencing symbolic dreams, intense visions, or unfamiliar landscapes, they all carry reflections of who you are and who you're becoming. And now you know, sleep isn't just stillness. It's motion, it's awareness, it's possibility.